Hi friends, welcome back to our home. I'm going to share some things in our living room today that I decorated for March or spring. It probably will be the only spring one that I'll do in here. It is the coldest St. Patrick's Day in 30 years. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. So everybody was out dressed very warm, as you've probably seen in a lot of other states too, but here in Minnesota, really, really cold. We still have a lot of snow left, so I'm still dressed warm today too. It's not that great out. Windy too. We just had a blizzard like 2 days ago. Yeah, crazy weather. So I hope you're experiencing some warmer weather. And I'd like to show you a few new things that might surprise you. Norm is resting today, so I just will be doing this myself. Thanks again for being here. I'll start with these crazy, are these amphibians? I'll have to look that up. Boy, I haven't used that word in a long time. I just love these silly frogs and toads, and I have more, much more things in frogs or little planters too I have, but they're out in a shed for storage. I didn't want to bring them all in. I just wanted to show you these. I decided to put eyes in them a couple days ago because these two had just big black solid eyes. And yes, it was fun, too, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's okay? Norm said he liked it okay. They kind of glow at night in dimmer light. Yeah. So I found this crazy guy at least 2 years ago or more at the Goodwill. A very fun hobbyist look to it, kind of splatter glazed. And he was absolutely filthy dirty. Oh my goodness, I had to work so hard on cleaning him up. Let's see if he says anything underneath. No. Well, yeah. There's something, but it could be just have to do with the mold or something. There's a copyright mark there, but yeah, I can't tell anything. It was obvious that somebody had him outside in their garden, but I was thrilled to find him. So that was at least 2 years or more ago. I've shown him in other videos. And then last year, I was so happy to find this huge, crazy frog with the silliest grin ever. I just love him. So adorable, and I love that green. Now this was my newest find, a really big toad. He's really big, and they look kind of mean. Even his eyes turned out looking kind of mean, even though I put the rhinestone there. I think it's that nose that bugs me. I don't know. But they're different colors, and I just thought that was so fun. Oh, this is a vase from Wild Collective Vintage. Another very fun splatter. So I just put some fun, silly greenery in there that might look kind of swampy. Looks like almost like seed pods, but they're really not that thick. So I thought you'd get a kick out of that. So I will show you something new over on the table here that I was thrilled to find. You've seen my crazy zigzag pillow that is what kind of stitching that would be. That's a very simple stitch. Certainly not crocheted. I don't know. That's neat. I think somebody wrote me and told me what that was, and I apologize for not retaining that in my old brain. But that was always fun to know. This is one of my fun porcelain mugs. Norm drinks his coffee here in the morning and loves to look at the news on his phone. So I thought I would show you that particular one. Kind of fun, St. Patty's colors. Very springy. And you've seen this small, nice pottery lamp. And we happened to find this very crazy shade in really, really lime green many years ago. And I think I did buy it because I was thinking about this, but it still turned out to be a different shade. I thought that the bottom was kind of more chartreuse and would match this, but it's still fun. We've had different shades on this little lamp that we've found that were like vintage plastic, accordion looking ones, and you know, there's a lot of different kinds out there, your little fiberglass ones. But this is actually paper, cardboard like. So it is not fiberglass. I left some of Norm's favorite dark chocolate M&Ms here, and I took out the ones that I didn't want. I take out the red ones, I'll take out the brown ones and the blue ones, and that's what you're left with. Yeah, I like doing that. So I just brought one of the fun little transistor radios down here to go with the lamp and everything. This is my newest bird. I was thrilled. It's so pretty. Very shiny, a little pearly finish. Not extremely obvious, but it is. And nice flowers on the base. Very different than any that I found. Oh, look at, see the green down his back. It's very pretty too. Yeah, I thought that was really neat and really springy. I didn't put a light in here, but this is an odd dark olive fairy lamp found at a thrift store a long time ago. Very dark olive. Yeah, not my favorite when they're that dark, but I hung on to it just because it's vintage and was a fun find. So you know, I've had this planter here and just like to change to different types of greenery as the seasons go by, and I don't always have this here. Sometimes I get in the mood to put something different up, but I decided to leave them because they were green planters. Very fun find from many years ago. I believe it was in Hopkins, Minnesota that I discovered that. Yeah. And I thrifted those way up in St. Croix Falls, Minnesota, I believe. I think they were like about $3.50 each, something like that. And there is a third one that I have mentioned is missing, but that didn't bother me. I loved finding them. Well, at least the sun is shining today. That always helps your mood anyways, but we went out yesterday and it was really cold. Yeah, it's not been fun this year, but they don't want our snow to be melting too fast, so I guess it's best that we keep some cold days hanging around here with all this snowpack we still have. I put a lot of glass out. I have an awful lot of green glass. I guess I must really love it. Maybe it's that I'm finding it more reasonable than, say, orange vases. Maybe orange glass and red glass is more expensive, but I sure have found these really, really reasonable. These bottles, I just think they're very cool. I wish they were balanced a little better as far as the tops go, but they're not. I'm just happy when I find one, and each time I found one, it was completely different than anything that I already had. So I do have quite a collection on the shelving of some mixed colors in dark greens and light greens. And to the far left of the shelving, I have more your olive green swung vases. Yeah, maybe it's just I kind of weaken and pick them up because I just don't think they're quite as expensive. Maybe they're getting a lot more popular, but I don't know why I have so many. Maybe they just were made a lot more too. Maybe green was just really, really popular. This is a second one of two very, very large swung vases that my brother gave me many, many years ago. He knew that Norm and I were getting very interested in mid-century decor, and he knew I liked the genie bottles, so he was very sweet to give me some of his biggest ones. Now, I'm going to have to turn my light on for this very dark window, see what I can manage to show you against this sun. Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to show up. Even with the light on it, it's just amazing. Looks pretty dark, but I've got a couple of Christmas cactuses hanging up with a couple of my very favorite, really, really bright gold and orange and a little green drip glaze. Planters that I found many, many years ago. They're not exactly the same, so that's kind of fun. And I did make 4 of these very, very big, I should say very, very long beaded planter hangers. Yeah, I loved beading, so I've done a lot of that. 2 of them I took down, and I believe they were longer than these. They came down even closer to the top of this bottle, so I kept the shorter ones up. And you've seen this before, the more orange dip glaze one that Norm put the chain on it for me, because when I found it, it didn't have anything on it. I don't know if that's something that came with like jute or some kind of, what do you call that, cording? Yeah, I don't know what was on there, but we decided to put chain on it because of the gold chain that we already had up there. It goes best. And on each side, again, I put back up my favorite reticulated metal sconces that Norm and I both sprayed green. I sprayed a lighter green on it after we had a more of a muted green. I didn't think it was cheery enough, so I just lightly went over it with a very bright limey green, just to give it some fun dimension. I'm happy with them. This Swan is new for me. I don't remember where I found it. It was a while back, but I have not shown it to you yet. It's a nice size. I did find it on the internet. There are some other colors that it came in, but I did find mostly this pretty green with some brown highlights. And I don't know if you're gonna see the color really well. I sure hope so. It's just very difficult in this bright window. But I really like this size. It's very fun. I decided not to put any greenery in it so it wouldn't stick up too high. I found this tiny little book quite a few years ago. So cute. It is so little and really pretty. Very funny. Old limericks in there. 1980, so it really isn't super old. But so funny because it's got all these little black and white drawings in it. So they're numbered. Yeah, it's very fun reading. So old-fashioned. I love my mid-century mod footstool that we got for only $5 at a church sale not too long after we moved in here, and our new black barrel chair. But I just have to throw in something kitsch. I can't help it. I found this crazy, what I think is crocheted. Yes, I believe that's crocheted. Pillow at Wild Vintage Collective. Probably a couple months ago. Been saving it for spring. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, it is really a crazy one. Just had to throw in a little silliness. Norm probably thinks my pillows are nuts. So over here is a huge donkey planter, and I didn't look it up to see what I could find out about it, nor did I turn it over and write down if there's anything on the bottom, but this guy's really big. As you can see, this is a large piece of furniture, and he takes up about a quarter of it. But yeah, so it's very heavy, and I got a real deal on it. I went to check out at the antique mall in Paynesville, Minnesota. We usually go to Spicer first, to the bell tower, and then we'll often take a little side trip over to Paynesville to an antique mall over there that we just love. They really have reasonable prices. So yeah, I was checking out with it, and here it was marked down on sale, so I was thrilled. I may have gotten it then for like 25 or 20, but whatever it was a deal, because this is in beautiful condition. There are no chips anywhere. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, after I looked it up, that hole back there I found out is for a lamp post. So this was actually a lamp base. Have you ever seen one of those before? I think he's just really fun. I just love animal figures when they're just one color like that, and if they have some gold on it, that's special too, you know, like this horse. I just think that's very modern and fun. So down here I just moved my newest green bird TV lamp. It's not my newest TV lamp, but it's second to the newest. I was looking for something in green that would be great for the winter months instead of our white horse and white swan that we've had in here for many years. And then I did buy a black horse, a rearing black horse. It's very common. So some of those, we have a zebra one now too. So those I'll use for Halloween and possibly another one coming up this summer, but I did find this little orange swan, probably a California one. It's not a hobbyist piece, but I was happy to find that. So I did just try to put a little pop of orange here and there instead of having everything, absolutely everything green on the wall today. I love this piece. I did find it really, really reasonable. Surprised at the price. Don't recall, but I'm going to try not to be worried about prices of things right now. It's just too much to talk about, too much to remember for me. This is a new piece that I got quite reasonable too. It has a little bit of brown swirled in it, I believe, but I've never had one shaped like this. I do have a different green bird, not as fancy, but oops, sorry. So this is the first time I broke down and got one like this. And its nose is real textured and glittery, its head. Kind of unusual. I didn't notice that on other pieces like that. Now, there's a horse over there that I will be talking about, but it's too hard to get over there to film it from a good view, but I did purchase on eBay a couple weeks ago a new pair of green horsehead bookends, but I'll talk about them on the other side. So you have seen these before. I like them. Kind of wish they were a little greener, but that's the way most of them looked. You've seen those pieces. And this is the way I mixed up the green glass this year. Up here, there's plenty of Empoli, I assume, but I can't remember what these swirled ones were, if I found them or not on the internet. And I don't know about this either. Beautiful eagle one. I may have found some of this before, but I think this is Wayne Husted from Blanco, and that may have had a lid on it. I found it in Winona, Minnesota, several years ago now. It's quite dark. And I just found this little canister. So cute. Very surprised. I think that again was in Paynesville. Yeah, really like it. I've had that piece for quite a while, that bowl. So now is on the center, two center shelves is all the green drip pottery, most likely California or probably some Hager pieces too. I would venture to say that these vases, if that's what they call them with handles on them, I don't know if they consider those ewers or not. I honestly don't know. But I do love them, and I have 4 now shaped like that. One farthest to the right here with wonderful drip glaze effect on them. All different colored ones. I really, really am thrilled when I find another one of those that are different. So that's probably my biggest piece, not the tallest one, but the biggest one. And this may be a newer edition bud vase. And I love the swans, of course. On the hearth below, I have the large swan here that is by Hull Hull. And I had one of the small ones here, but just a week ago, Bibles for Missions had one of these in one of their antique items cabinet. And I think they wanted like $14 for it, which that might have been a splurge for me at Bibles for Missions, but I didn't mind giving them the money for it. I was so thrilled to have a second one so I could have one down there. I think they're adorable. It was in perfect condition, so that was a very, very fun and exciting purchase for me last week. And Bibles for Missions, we were really surprised. They're in Crystal, Minnesota. They changed their name to Legacy Thrift, I believe. So that was a real surprise. Didn't see that one coming. And I'm not sure the reasoning behind it either. But I better take my light off. Oops. So I'm not going to have my light on now because the mirror is going to pick that up, as well as me. Hi. Hi. This is a crazy story. It's always fun to have a crazy story for you. I was with Norm last weekend, and we went to the Mall of St. Paul and snooped around there until Norm got tired of walking around, and he said I could go to the Missouri Mouse, which is just down the road a block. Another very, very nice antique mall. So he said, I'm just going to wait in the car and I think I'll make a phone call. But you can go in, and I did. And by the time I got down to the basement, I saw two birds like this up on a shelf. I recognized the shape of them, the curly feathers, because Norm bought me a very big orange Maurice of California bird that I showed you probably in our last video. I don't know when I showed it, but it was just fairly recent. I was very excited, but I couldn't understand why they were black. They were just solid black. And I thought, they're really not very nice looking. I turned them over to see if I could see any identification on the bottom, and I could tell it was an orange bird. Orange and gold, for that matter. I thought, oh my goodness, this pair of birds has been spray painted black. So, before I tell you any more, I'm going to insert a portrait, little short minute video that I made for YouTube Shorts. And I am trying to learn how to make YouTube Shorts. I think it would be very fun, but I was trying to do it from my computer, not from my phone. YouTube Shorts is designed very much like Instagram posts and videos, which I've been using for, 3 years now? So I'm very familiar with that, and I'm sure I could do a YouTube short on my phone without any trouble, but I wanted to do it from the computer. I filmed it portrait, just like they said to do. I went on my studio, which is where all of your videos are, and uploaded it, did everything. I watched a video explaining everything before I did it. Some of you caught it and commented. Thank you very much. I think I got like 80 views before I took it down. I was pretty upset because it was posted as a video. Well, I can't have a 1-minute video on my channel as regular video, because that would bring my analytics way down from the normal view time. That's just one category, is your viewing time. My viewing time average is like 20 some minutes, which I'm thrilled, especially when I make hour-long videos. So I took it down. I was pretty upset that it even got out there. And you saw it. It looked terrible. I don't like that when I see a video that's supposed to be in landscape and fill up the whole screen and have it be just a skinny little portrait in the middle and only be 1 minute long. That's silly. If it would have been in the right category, fine, but it wasn't. So I apologize for that, and I'm just going to show you here. Hi friends, I just had to show you. I was so excited to find a pair of Maurice of California stylized large bird statues. I picked them up at the antique mall and turned it over and saw that it's a bright orange bird. These have been spray painted and they have chips on them. I could see the orange all over. So I was aware that I was going to have a huge job ahead of me trying to figure out how to get this paint off these beautiful bright orange and gold Maurice of California birds. So I found out it was not enamel paint. It is water-based. I am soaking it in 2 dishwasher tablets. It's working, but a lot of work. Anyways, this is my tallest piece that is so cool because it does have the orange in it also. I'm thrilled to have found this for, I believe it was, oh, I hate to guess. I don't know why I'm thinking $20, but I don't know for sure. But it's in a video we did, a Christmas video of the Morin Mansion in Cold Spring, Minnesota, and I discovered it there. Not the last one we did, but the year before. So I just love that crazy shape. So fun. Now I'll show you what's way up high. I should have had Norm doing this for me. It is very difficult for short me. This is a mixture of some candy jars or apothecary down there and some bottles. The one on the end, I just picked up a second one for like $5. I had the one and I thought, you know, that would be wonderful on the top shelf with some of our odd bottles. I don't know if you've seen the one in the middle there with the big bubbles on it. That probably was fairly new last year. Don't know if I've shown it yet or not, but so there's the other candy jar. So that did balance out nicely. And a mixture of shades of green. I got that beautiful green apothecary third one from the left for $6 in Hutchinson, Minnesota at the treasure shed many years ago. I love it. So let's go over to this side. I just found this cute little Pottery drip glaze. Votive. I'm assuming it's a votive. It just fits the votives. I don't know if you can tell for sure, but it is darker between the stars where it's dripped down, a darker green. Very nice glaze on it. It's really sweet and little. There's no identification on the bottom, but that was in a thrift store. Oh, there's the wind again. It's making noises. Spooky. So that was fun. Only $1 at this church thrift store in Hutchinson, Minnesota, where I found a lot of glass and dishes. Really, really cheap. Oh, they're so nice there. We brought in mini bags to them, though. We had them in the car, and we thought, oh, why don't we give them all to them? That was nice that Norm happened to think of it, plus some extra boxes for them, too. I found this very sweet Hager pot. It's got a lot of white dripped through it. Really, really inexpensive. I think that was from Bibles for Missions. Yeah, that was like a year or more ago. I'm not sure if I already showed you this. This is looking more blue than it is. It is not a blue-green. Yeah, I don't know what to do to change that, but it's as green as that is. It's a real true dark green and limey green. From Wild Vintage Collective again, there is a booth there that is just full of beautiful TV lamps and vases and things. A lot of it Royal Hager. This probably is Royal Hager. I forgot to look, but yeah, that's a very green book it's sitting on too. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's disappointing. Why did I buy green TV lamps? I don't know. Well, I like looking at them, but I just wish you could see their true color. Sad. So this is the collection up here on this shelf of some odds and ends of vases that I found. This really, really crazy one, shaped very weird, is from my brother's house. From my brother, I should say. He did give it to me before he passed. It's already been a year and 3 months. Time really goes fast. This could be a Hager piece. I'm not certain. It does have a nice lighter drip on top of it, and I love the shape of it. This is really unusual, and I don't know anything about it. Don't remember where I found it, but this is very fun. I think that was also from Wild Collective Vintage recently. Probably hobbyist. Probably has a date on the bottom. That was a fun addition. And this is just like the pot below that I showed you that is Hager. And I'm pretty sure, oh, and so is this one. They're all three the same. That's a big one. I got that for $10. Way up north. She had it marked like 12 and gave it to me for 10. Wow. I was shocked. It's beautiful. A lot of white dripped in those. You see how they're like? That one and the pot. Yeah, that'd make a very nice grouping, wouldn't it? I did have these and the other pair on the other side in previous spring or summer videos. But I just mentioned that I saw these on the internet. I was actually searching for green horsehead bookends or green horse bookends. Now these are really different. Very, very different. That horse's hoof is not even touching his right leg. Isn't that amazing? So it's got more of a Western flair, but you know what? I really thought these were going to be the size of these. I was kind of disappointed when I opened them up. And it's not from the quality or anything. I mean, they're beautiful. They're just amazing. But I was really thinking I was buying full-size, huge horses. I just thought they were going to be like really, really showy from across the room. What a bummer. Have you ever done that where you didn't pay attention to the details enough to look at the size of something? I think I've seen posts like that. I really do, on Instagram, where people have posted something that they opened up and they said, oh, that's not what I thought the size was gonna be. It's so funny. Norm was kind of cracking up when he opened them up. I think he was fooled too. I didn't tell him what size they were because we were both just thinking they were gonna be this big. Oh well. Lesson learned. Pay attention to details. I'm happy to have them anyways. I'll keep looking. You never know. I might find something green again. This is what I've ended up with over many years of mostly swung vases. It's nice. They're all different. Pretty much, I'd say that shape right there and the one behind it is more common, except look at the base on the two are different. So this one on the end over here has the same base as one of those, but the same kind of bulbous type bottom to the vase. I don't know what you would call that section of the vase. It's very much like that one back there. So it's nice mixing in olive green. And I purchased this pretty candy dish a long time ago. But this is a newer purchase, and that was from the thrift store, the church thrift store in Hutchinson. And I bought a gold candy jar with coins on it, and the green one. And the green one was shorter. The gold one is a bigger vase, much bigger. I mean candy jar, lidded candy jar. But they were like 12, maybe 12 and 14 or something like that. And I just thought it would be very nice to buy it from them. Yeah, help them out. So that's what's over here. Let me explain this. I couldn't resist bringing back upstairs the other crazy stretch vase that my brother gave us many years ago. It is such a fun one. I have shown it before. Really big. I don't know if these are L.E. Smith or what, or Viking. I just don't know. I didn't look it up, but I'm very happy to have it. Move this little telephone rack over here. Sometime, you never know, I might put the telephone on it over here. Telephone doesn't have to be on our desk. But for today, I just did that. And this is a vintage Kleenex holder. I've collected many of them. I love them. It's very pearly. Very nice. I could pull it out, but I think you can see what the top design looks like. So you gotta have Kleenex handy around here for wherever you're sitting. You never know when you're gonna sneeze. So I only put a couple little vintage pillows on the love seat. I just love how modern it looks. I'm so happy with it. We really lucked out finding it right here in the Twin Cities. Got it delivered in a week's time. Can you believe it? Were we lucky? Beautiful quality. I'm thrilled. So I did just put a couple of dark green candles that I found at Bibles for Missions. I happen to have 4 of those. Fortunate to find that. And instead of doing all baskets this time, I was being wild and crazy, and I threw in a vase instead of a basket. I could add, a green vase there to have more green, but I couldn't resist. I love this crackle glaze vase. Norm talked me into getting it from a place that we had not been to before, an antique mall in New Ulm, Minnesota, last summer. Yeah, we got a video on it. It's a very fun one. It's the video with the troll dolls for the thumbnail. That is a very nice antique shop, and we'd like to go back there sometime. So that's real colorful. I know I've shown you those glass baskets many times, but they are my favorite thing for this shadow box. I love pressed glass and crackle glass and swung glass and you name it, art glass. It's just so cheery and sparkly. Very fun, very modern. So I love my magazine rack that I picked out many years ago. Norm thought it was kooky. He just didn't see my attraction to that type of thing at the time, but he probably appreciates it now. I just changed the plants and a couple of the pots to just some simple green stuff, but I love this one. This is so cool. They're more like Japan planters. It's just so textured, and I found quite a few pieces like this in the past few years in blues or greens. So the blue ones I won't show until July. So this was my big hull planter, and I just found these couple of bushes. That's what they call it, right? One big stem is kind of like a bush, but I bought 2 of them, and it's funny because I kept seeing this in an antique mall in Hutchinson, and I just loved it. I thought, what is that? I never see it anywhere. So it's just cool that I kept picking that up, going, oh, I want this plant, and it said not for sale. So it's just funny that I finally ran across one in I wonder if that was I finally found it at, I think, Hobby Lobby. Yeah. And it probably was on sale too, because all of their spring stuff was on sale. I think it was. So there's 2 more of my Swan planters and a very fun California bird that I love. Looks like a roadrunner. Probably is. But I really like my swans. That's by Coronet, I guess. And that's your hull one over here, the large one. So I just stuck some green grapes in there so they didn't look too bare. And that was at my brother's house. The crazy drip glaze, or splatter glaze. Hobbyist, I think. Huge planter. So I don't have real plants around here except what's hanging in the corner as you go around to the kitchen. I do have a pothos that I'm trying to grow there, and I'm not even doing very well with that. So that's crazy, huh? Over here on the coffee table, I put back my favorite splatter glaze or drip glaze serving pieces that I just love. I have shown them to you before, so I won't probably be taking them out again to show you, but they're so pretty. It would be a lot easier to see, wouldn't it, if we didn't have this ripply glass tabletop. But I'm just crazy for these when I find them really reasonable, and I have. These have been some real deals, unbelievable. This I think was even at the Goodwill. I can't remember for sure, but it's a very pretty piece with extra leaves in it. It's more like a dip, possibly, situation, or this particular section here is built up more. It's a very nice piece. So this is our newest grape cluster. And did we find that when we went to the New Ulm Antique Mall? It was a steal. We're thrilled. Really, really nice piece. As you've noticed, I've put different things at the end of the desk here. The telephone stand was there for quite a while, but I do love plant stands too. This was something I showed last year, possibly very early in the year. We found it in Monticello, Minnesota. Downtown Monticello, Minnesota, there is a really sweet shop called Frank and Bessie's Antiques. Very, very nice people. We bought many fun things there. So this was weathered. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but it's just gorgeous work to me. It is homemade. There's a signature on the bottom, I believe, if I remember correctly. I've tried to grow snake plants for years, and they just don't seem to ever do anything. I think I've always ended up with them in too big of a pot, and so they don't spend any time growing on top. They're spending all their time trying to grow roots. Yeah, I just don't know why I don't have as much luck lately growing plants. I did for many, many, many years when we first moved in here, and our other house was full of very big plants, like a big umbrella plant. Oh wow, it was all the way up to the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just not doing so good, and I do ignore them. But anyways, I had Norm respray this in a wood tone because it really needed a cleaning up. I'm sorry that it's not the natural wood, but it was stained on the top from water and calcium. So I'm very happy with it. I think it is very cool, and I have no idea of its age. So I hope you like that there for a change. Well, this is my final surprise to show you. Some of you may not be surprised. If you watched our recent video when we were at the treasure shed in Hutchinson, Minnesota, we were looking at this Curtis Gere, Jere, mixed metal sculpture. It's very well known. We were strongly debating on whether to get it. Of course, the first thing we think of is, where are you going to put that? Well, I wasn't certain, but I decided to talk Norm into it because I thought it was just an unbelievable price. Marked down from $500 originally, which is kind of ballpark out there on the internet, with a lot of them selling for that, $300 to $500, and some of them even had some of the geese missing. This one is in excellent condition, and they marked it half price to $2.50. And then there was another sign in the booth that everything was 30% off. So I think that came to then about $175. That is a big splurge for us, but we still felt that this was so popular and really would be very fun. I've admired it from afar for years because you know how much I love birds. Well, this fits right in. My brother gave us that brass geese plaque many years ago, and I've had it in the drawer for a really, really long time. I've moved it around, possibly upstairs. I think I had it in Norm's bathroom for a while. But he's got other things in there now that are just fine. He changes his tastes often too. So I thought that would help complement this. And if you recall, I had my brother's 3 very large mallard plaques by Musketeer, and they were absolutely gorgeous. I still have them. I don't know what to do with them. It's just that this was really the best place for this sculpture, and obviously it is more of a valuable piece than the 3 mallards. I do love them, and I would love to have them displayed somewhere else, but I just don't know. If I talk Norm into putting them up over the fireplace wall, on that angled wall, and then he kind of says that's a little much and doesn't really like it. I've talked about putting those mallards over the shadow box. They would go just fine on a gold wall, but I'm just worried about making nail holes and then having him decide it's kind of a lot. So for now, I am not putting them up until I think about it a lot more, but I hope you like that we made the decision to invest in this. If we ever get really hungry, maybe this will be the first thing we'll try to sell at a reasonable price. But it does describe this as being mixed metals. There's lots of birds flying around over here in this corner. So I hope you really like that. Again, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you all. You've been so wonderful to write to us. Norm is going to be having major surgery tomorrow morning, very, very early, Monday morning, 7:30. I thank you for any prayers you wish to say for him to have a successful surgery. I am posting this Sunday afternoon, so some of you will be seeing this later after the fact, but we certainly love prayers for his healing. They said he could be in the hospital for up to 5 days or more. We're hoping it's only 3 or 4. So thank you for your prayers and all your concerns for our well-being. You've always been that way, and we love you for that. You have a wonderful April, and I will be, hopefully, before that, I hope to do a kitchen and dining room video. Yeah, that's my goal, so I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks again. We're praying for you too, for your safety and wellness.